So this is Mark from Skywagon University podcast. We haven't done one for a while. We've been busy selling planes and coming up with a whole other concept, which we're going to be talking about here today. The guest is Cole Gaither from Gaither Aviation, aptly named, and and he is mildly amusing. So, hi Cole, thanks for coming.
Thank you. I don't know how long I've known you, but long enough for you to know that it's actually Hangar Aviation.
No, but your email is Gaither Aviation.
That would be my son, Ben. Okay. That's his company.
Similar, all right,
anyway,
cool.
So,
Well, what we do is he does what I do on the East Coast. I do what I do on the West Coast. He poaches my stuff. I poach his stuff, but we know each other. So we've decided to get together and make a show that Cole can practice his speech with you on.
We just missed a good poach yesterday, huh?
Yeah, we did.
I flew out to poach a 1969 Piper 235. I arrived. The seller did not show.
But to clarify how far you came, North Carolina to Southern California.
North Carolina to Riverside, California. About 30 minutes later, Mark taxied up, and then about an hour later, another guy showed up, Jordan, with a $25,000 cashier's check. I was there to buy the plane for $12,000. Mark had bought $20K with him. Seller never showed.
Oh, and then only to find that there was a fourth buyer that wasn't even one of us, who we all met in the FBO, who was supposedly buying it.
Yeah.
So we flew for 5 hours in the Mooney down there and wasted a day, and we did a video about it. But it's all part of this new show we're doing, The Antics of Aviation.
Yeah, it just goes to show, old fella from my hometown, Nelson Sigmund, used to say, some days you just don't make a damn dime.
Well, yeah, and we actually lost. Yeah.
So, what do you want to talk about?
The new show. How did it come to fruition?
Let's start in the beginning. Years and years ago, Clark Hangar, a very adept aviation personality, pulled me out of a jobless situation after '08, and we began selling airplanes. I was placed in his attic with a stack.
So you were a pilot already?
I was a pilot already. I had quite a lot of piloting experience. Started in the Caribbean in St. Croix. I'd flown around North and South Carolina a good bit, but that was about it. Never been west of the Mississippi. Clark put me in the attic of his house with a 6-inch tall stack of old prospects and told me to go through them all. And I did, with vigor and enthusiasm, and I pulled a lot of sales out of that stack.
Was that around about the time where I'd get the phone call that said, "What's this worth?"
That's exactly when that was, because I had no idea. So gradually, Clark and I began buying a lot of airplanes, and then over time, I became the business. I learned and became more adept at buying, and Clark would sell, but he would always say that you make your money the day you buy the plane, not the day you sell it. Good lesson. Learned a lot of good lessons from Clark Hangar.
The fun part of buying planes, of course, is the people that are selling them.
We love the adventure and the chase, and that's really probably what the show is a little bit about. We like to say that, well, first of all, the show got a name from a group from Tennessee. They came to Charleston and they said, we're going to call this show, you guys are great, we're going to call it Low Country Plane Flippers.
And this was how long ago?
This was in 2009.
And you've been at it since then?
Since then. And we all threw up in our mouth just a little bit when they said that. And then I went home and visited with my mom, Rachel Gaither, and my dad, Jim Gaither, Dr. Gaither, and my mom came up with the name Plane Crazy, and that stuck. And so we have ever since been chased to do Plane Crazy by 4 or 5 different companies from the Hollywood area, and none of them have worked out. So now we are teamed up with Mike Kennedy after losing Kevin Lacey last year. Mike Kennedy has graciously stepped in. Valerie,
from Airplane Repo.
From Airplane Repo, yes.
Mm-hmm. Discovery Channel.
Discovery Channel, Airplane Repo. Mike Kennedy was one of the celebrities on the show, and his wife also was on the show a little bit with him. And so we are teamed up with them, you, Mike, and I are going to create a YouTube channel. We've already created it, and it's called Plane Crazy Life.
And it's everything to do with the antics involved with planes and everything associated with it. And there's a few already in the bag. Tell us about those.
About episodes in the bag, or yeah,
The planned ones and ones we're doing.
so we shot up in Oshkosh, and that was kind of the first meeting of the three of us. We are getting ready to deliver an Aztec, a 1966 Piper Aztec, to Brazil, and that's going to occur in end of September, 1st of October. We are repoing an actual bona fide repo of a plane that we sold to some Mongs in Minneapolis that wrote us a bad check and then took the wings off the plane and parked it out in the middle of nowhere in a parking lot.
And for people who don't know what a T-28 is, a big radial engine World War II fighter trainer.
That's exactly right. And this was a C model, which was one that had a tail hook, was prepared to fly on and off of carriers. 1,525 horses, big engine, beautiful airplane. We found it last week while we were at Oshkosh. John Shell, the seller who sold it to the Mongs, has now solicited myself and Mike Kennedy to repo that plane. So we have gone up. We found it in this remote parking lot. Next week we're going to go up with a tractor trailer. We're going to load it on the tractor trailer, and then that
Hopefully this airs after you've done that.
yes, that'd be nice. So once we have it on the tractor trailer, we're going to annual it, get all the ADs and everything complied with, and we have already sold it. And it looks, yes, we have. We've sold it to Robert Riley, owner of the Rock Island Railroad in Biloxi, Mississippi. So we'll be delivering that to him on the way to another episode, and that's an episode you don't want to miss. That's the new air race, not at Reno, but at Roswell, New Mexico. You definitely want to be at that. That's going to be a big deal, right?
Why?
And Mark, I'm going to ask you, why is that going to be such a big deal?
I am going to be owning and sponsoring, but not flying, an L-29 Czechoslovakian military jet, and it's going to be in the silver class, because there's going to be two L-29s. One will be in the gold class for the jets, piloted by Bob McCormick, who's won Reno in it before, and then he's going to fly my one in the silver, and then once it's won and it's got fame and pedigree, it's going to be worth a fortune, so we're going to be selling it then, and Cole will fly it to South Carolina and deal with that because I can't fly them. But yeah, there's going to be two sponsored jets at our pit, in our tent, for the entire time at Roswell.
And Bob did compliment you. He said you were a very good pilot and that you ought to consider getting your ticket in that plane. It's not that hard to do. It takes a day. And
So if I'm private single engine land,
you're good to go.
what's
You just do a check ride. It's a 1 day with a check ride the next day. Very easy. And Larry Salganick in Santa Fe, New Mexico, will do that for you. And so I'm going to be taking just a simple 2-hour check ride. But if you wanted to go along with me when we take the plane to Roswell, you can go along and spend an extra day there with him. I'll hang around and watch, and you just go about it and get your jet license.
that actually might be a good thing to put on the show too.
I think that would be. I think we ought to do that.
I'd go Cessna Piper Mooney Beach, L-29 jet.
That's right. And it'll be on your pilot's license, so it does make you look good.
Cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kewler.
Yeah. No, so that's going to be a great episode because it's going to be everything at Roswell.
Yep.
Doing the whole full Monty with a pit.
Yep.
And we'll just fly in the Mooney and be there for the whole time.
Yep. So we'll have the Beech 18 there.
Which Beech 18 is this?
I knew you were gonna. I shouldn't even have brought that up. We'll flash up a picture here in just a minute, or maybe slide in a little video. But the other day, I was landing at Silver Creek, and I had
Who owns this Beech 18? Sorry.
This Beech 18 is owned by a fellow named Mark Pilkington and another guy named Cole Gaither.
Yeah. And what happened to it?
Cole was flying the plane, and it had been experiencing some electrical issues. We thought we had them fixed. It experienced the electrical issue again, The gear had to be lowered with the emergency clutch release. Cole had never done this before, so when the gear slammed down, Cole thought the gear was locked, and it probably was, but did not
Talking
have a green...
about yourself in the third person doesn't get you off the hook.
It doesn't, does it? So I did everything I could do to assure that the gear was down, including some negative G's and some flybys. And when I touched down, the gear did hold, and then there was some bumps in the runway. Apparently, something in it had not completely locked out, and we hit some bumps, and the gear settled on down. So
It's said to a stop
yeah, it's
in the grass. Now that was a big plus. It was on grass.
It was on grass, and it stopped less than 100 feet from its hangar. And so within an hour and a half, we had it up, the gear down, and a tractor hooked up to it and had it in the hangar. We're going to disassemble the engines, put new blowers on it, redo the engines and the props. It'll be expensive, but we'll have some very nice engines on it, props on it, and it'll be worth probably about 150 more.
Because of the times. And it was
The
barely
times.
damaged. I mean,
Barely.
the beacon wasn't knocked off the belly.
Yeah, so soft. Yeah, the
Yeah.
grass hadn't been cut, and
Tell us a bit about your, you learned to fly twins before singles.
I did.
What happened there?
Well, my career started flying in St. Croix. I was asked to build some tennis courts. I played tennis my whole life. And so I built those tennis courts and some more, and had a fairly nice little pot of money, and I needed to start going to the other islands to build tennis courts. So I went up to Boston and bought a 66 Aztec for $31,500. Had a fellow fly it back down to me, and then Demetrius Doliotis taught me to fly that Aztec, and with 110 hours under my belt and a fresh pilot's license, twin only, I was not licensed to fly a single engine. I took off down through the chain of islands, stopping at every island, every resort that had tennis courts. I met the tennis pro, and before I knew it, I was building tennis courts all up and down the chain, and having children back in St. Croix, and just living the life.
How long ago was that?
That was in the 80s. We left in the 90s after Hurricane Hugo just destroyed St. Croix. We rebuilt everything that we had built and then left that the hurricane destroyed.
Yeah. And then got back into aviation with Clark.
Got back into aviation with Clark, and here I am today. My son Ben is in aviation. My son Zach got his pilot's license. My daughter almost got her pilot's license, Jordan. How did you begin your flying career?
I did one of those courses where you come from England for a month and guaranteed license in Southern California. You know, you arrive on a Monday with jet lag, and by Friday you're soloing, and so I did it in a month, and then that was in 1991, and I then just stayed here, got legal, got a green card, got a work permit, delivered a plane to Placerville, and there is a longer version of this story. Delivered a plane to Placerville to Joe Stansel, who worked here. In fact, his desk was where we're sitting.
These are his offices.
I worked for him for 17 years and then sold the business to me, and I've carried on ever since. But it was, I only meant to come over for a month, and that was 32 years ago.
I remember you telling me one time that when you came over, you discovered something interesting about Americans. You don't remember that?
Separated by a common language?
No, that all you didn't know that every individual did not grow up with a nanny and a butler.
Not quite, but yeah.
Something like that. So what else you want to talk about?
Let's talk more about the show and what we're hoping it's gonna do.
So one thing we like to say about the show is the show's really not about airplanes. The show's about the people and the places and who we meet and the adventures we have. The planes simply get us to and from the show. So at this point, the show, we have created a cast of you, myself, and Mike, and we have another layer of cast underneath us that is John Shell, Kyle Folwell, Terry Ray, alias T-Rex, Ben Gaither, Troy Emmett, possibly Bill Hay. we've got a nice layer of other individuals below us, but we're going to be the leaders in the entertainment part of it.
And each of those is involved in like either maintenance, jets,
Flying hearts,
warbirds,
fly hearts and kidneys around the world.
yeah, just like different avenues.
Right,
And
all
then
of them have
obviously
their
Mike Kennedy, of course, is into conservation.
repos, conservation.
And repo, yeah.
So Bill Hay, helicopters in Florida. He's a helicopter expert. So our next, we have had a soft opening at Oshkosh. We have media that's up and running, but it's not really formatted or populated yet. So that's coming around the 6th, 7th, and 8th. Mikey Korpax, who is a fantastic editor and producer, who's done 44 shows in 25, 30 years that he's been doing this. He will begin full-time editing and populating the TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel, Plain Crazy Life. So we will begin to have things there, and we will begin to have merchandise there. And this will all be leading up to our grand opening at the Roswell Air Race, September 10th through the 14th.
Yeah, there'll be shirts, hats. And since we've done that, and I've been asked on numerous occasions if there's any Skywagon University and skywagons.com merch, since the vehicle is going to be in position to produce that, we're going to have Skywagons merch too.
Yes.
One jet will have Skywagons on it, the other one will be Plain Crazy Life on it.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's...
And Alex Hennessy is in charge of that. Alex, I'm going to be home tomorrow from California. I want you to show me some merchandise, not the Beech 18 shirt on the belly. That's not the one I'm wanting to see. I want to see some good ones.
Yeah, and Alex is a asset to you. Because
Alex is.
You bounce off the walls and are hard to pin down. He organizes you and will make the show happen in the background.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in the background. There's camera people, there's infrastructure, and so it's going to be bigger than just Don and me filming planes at Placerville.
Yep.
It's going to be a new thing where there's like a will be in front getting credit, but there's going to be a big machine behind the scenes doing it. Don has been on a steep learning curve with mics and equipment and technique and just how to...
Just look at the setup you've got here. This is impressive.
Yeah. No, he's self-taught.
What we need to do with Don and with, we call him Fiver. I was just about to say Fiver, and I've got to explain that nickname real quick. Fiver's first task was driving the RV to Sun and Fun and then camping in a tent outside every day. And at one point he told us that he only needed 5 hours or less of sleep each night. Well, we all began to track that very closely, and we decided that that was not exactly true. So everyone gets a nickname in our business, and if you like the nickname, we're probably going to change it. Alex's nickname is Fiver, and it has stuck. He doesn't like it, and so we're all happy with it. So Fiver is going to learn Don's job. Hopefully, with Don's help, we're going to kind of figure out the equipment. But just talking like business, and even though we're on this, we need the exact same setup in my basement at the house, and then we can do the same thing, interviews and fill each other's slots. So you guys won't have to like concentrate to keep a podcast type thing going. I can bring people to my house, do a podcast, and we put it on our site.
Because we're going to meet interesting people doing the show.
We're going to meet interesting people.
And they're going to want to have closer up
constantly.
analysis of what they're like. Yeah.
And like just right off the rip, I could bring John Shell's 93-year-old father in for a podcast.
Oh, yeah.
And he could discuss how he, after John had spent 5 years building a beautiful Texan T6, that he could explain to us what inspired him to go out, not turn the fuel on, and take off from the Silver Creek Airport, only to crash, shear the wings off the plane, and walk away unscathed from the accident. So
and also that older gentleman we met who's got the most carrier landings in the world.
Who was that?
Hope's dad.
Hope's dad.
Kyle's girlfriend's dad.
Dad, yes.
He would be brilliant.
He
so
would be
all these kind of people who'd be doing podcasts.
So
getting back to nicknames, what's mine and why?
What is yours?
Oh, good. The nerd.
Oh, we had a little, yeah, that was funny. That was really funny. We were being courted by one of the producer types.
Don't swear.
Did I?
No.
Oh.
But you're about to.
Oh, yes, you're right. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, no swearing. I'll beep. So, and I had a producer from California in the car with me driving around Hickory, and Mark called in. I put him on speakerphone, and I said, you know, Mark's really smart. He's got a almost photographic memory for airplanes, and what we think we're going to call him, what we think we're going to call you, Mark. And I was talking to you on the speakerphone with this very, high level production. I said, we're going to call you the airplane nerd. Cricket, cricket. And then Mark piped in, I'll be the airplane nerd that tells you to go beep yourself. And the guy looked at it and I said, how about airplane professor? And Mark said, that's better.
At the university.
At the university. So
Yeah.
skywagonsuniversity.com, airplane professor.
But I'm not that much of a professor.
Yeah, you are kind of a professor.
I've picked a bit up over the years. But
You're kind of a professor. You're good at it. You're really good at it, actually. When you're not around, I brag about you. So
kind.
yeah. So the show, Roswell Air Race, September 10th.
Plain Crazy Life is the main thing.
Plain Crazy
It's
Life.
an informal chat because who's interviewing who, really? But just Plain Crazy Life is going to be the YouTube's channel's name, and then it'll have everything else on social media as well. And I'm still going to be selling planes. There's probably going to be more because there's going to be a lot of contact with people with planes. But so if you like it, subscribe on the link. You'll get notifications, and click on the little bell for notifications on the bell and subscribe anyway. And also remember, there's going to be a link below soon with merchandise, cups, hats, shirts. And as we get further and further down the road, there'll be more and more things on there if anybody wanted to buy a cup. But thanks very much for watching, and Cole, thanks for coming.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.